special episode of the Sledging Room. We are going to preview the Champions Trophy. I have with me Sabyasachi and Alan. A bunch of 30 plus have gathered here to discuss Champions Trophy. It's special because Sabya and Alan, I wanted to ask both of you, what were you doing when Pakistan last hosted an ICC event, a major ICC event, which was a generation ago? 1996, to be precise, 29 years ago. Sabya?
Yes, so I wasn't in this field. I was in banking thinking about what the customers will feel like if I don't turn up with their complaints.
In 1996?
No, in 2017.
Sabya, age fudging has happened, is it? Now, 2015, no. When was the last time Pakistan hosted a major tournament? What were you? Did you even watch that tournament live? Or
Yes, back in 2004, I think. Yes, I watched that tournament.
2004? I'm asking about 1996.
1996, I had no clue about cricket. When Jasprit and Romesh Kalvi set the tone for Sri Lanka in that World Cup, I had no clue about cricket.
Yeah.
I only started watching from 1999 when Wasim Akram, those guys lost in the final. Before that, I have no clue.
Because
we were shocked.
I was asking him about 1996. He was talking about banking
my
sector.
mind went to 2017.
17, yeah.
Yes.
Because I know your affinity, but let's not get there immediately, right? So I was like, is he the man from the earth? Has he, banker in the 1800s and scientist in the 1900s and a sports
man of all
journalist in
trades.
the 2000s? Alan, do you have any memories of, watching that tournament?
Not exactly, but I do remember it's like it was that era when you had those small player cards that used to come with I think which was that bubblegum big fun. I think it was it was a very old one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think probably everybody will.
Half of us, if they are Gen Zs and all of them listening to us, might be wondering
What the hell is
what
it?
the hell is
So
this?
there used to be those small cards that used to come with you buy one and you'll get like one card. So my brother used to have a collection of it, and my brother was a big fan of cricket at that time. I was probably 5 or 6 years old and I had basically no recollection of cricket, but I was slowly getting into cricket at that point in time. So the 96 World Cup, I don't have a lot of memory about it. But yeah, I think I have heard stories about how Sri Lanka were able to beat Australia in that World Cup.
Yeah.
How things did not pan out well for India. But at the end of the day, India did beat Pakistan during the group stage matches. One of the great matches, one of the great occasions as well. You saw Amir Sohail and Venkatesh Prasad have the greatest banter probably.
Wasn't that the Kambli semi-final?
Yes, where Kambli had broken down and I think it was Eden Gardens that went.
Yeah. So Pakistan, Sri Lanka and India co-hosted that tournament
Yes.
in 1996. I think my memory of watching a cricket match live was the 2002 NatWest series, even the Eden Gardens Test 2001. But an ODI World Cup, a major event, was 2003 World Cup.
Right.
I think it must be the same for most of us. Probably Sabya and Alan, 1999. You must have, I don't know.
I remember the 2001 test match because my parents had made the bold decision to cut cable in our house because I was not studying well.
From 1999, I have that memory when Bangladesh defeated Pakistan in that tournament, and a small Khalid Mahmood, that all-rounder, was sledging someone like a Wasim Akram, who was almost double of Khalid Mahmood. So I have that memory from that World Cup 1999.
These Asian rivalries are very underrated. I hope, Afghanistan, Pakistan, especially Afghanistan fans traveling to Pakistan, like Sabya alluded to, hope there is no trouble there. But we are just discussing this because Pakistan are going to be the hosts or co-hosts. I don't know how to name it. Co-hosts, because majority of the matches they are going to host.
Yeah, right.
India's matches will be played in Dubai.
Right.
Pakistan hosting a tournament after, say, 29 years. It's going to be a little emotional for the, fans who have followed the sport from that era. Seeing Pakistan teams dominate. The fanfare in Pakistan was as good as any other country back then. But that unfortunate 2009 incident happened, after which many international teams decided not to travel to Pakistan, which slowly changed after, say, 2015 when Zimbabwe came, and 2017 an ICC 11 led by Faf came there. From 2021 onwards, they have been hosting major international teams. But to quickly dive into the, the prospect of the battle that lies ahead of us. 8 teams split into two groups of 4 each. India, Pakistan, New Zealand and Bangladesh in Group A, whereas England, South Africa, Australia and Afghanistan in Group B. Sabya, Alan, let's start with Group A probably. So this is going to be a fun assignment, as in like for our we'll just preview the teams, we'll just see the strengths and weaknesses of each teams. We'll probably take 5-10 minutes for each team, and then at the end of it we'll also rate the teams, so that there is a number attached to the teams that gives us a better way to pick our top 4 at the end of this episode, which is what probably most previews are gonna be. But let's make it a little fun. Sabya, let's start with your favorite team, and probably I think the weakest team in the tournament, Bangladesh. Where do you think, as in like, Bangladesh can finish, and how does this team look?
See, it doesn't feel good telling this, but Bangladesh are most likely to lose all 3 matches in the group stages, although Nazmul Shanto, their captain, has said that we are here to win the Champions Trophy.
That's at least a good thing to say, unlike the Shakib Al Hasan of the past, where he comes to the ICC ODI World Cup and cribs about
it.
We
have to accept that what Ricky Ponting said, that compared to other teams, Bangladesh are far from their best, and even Afghanistan, a team like Afghanistan, has a better chance of winning the title than Bangladesh.
Should they have been in this tournament is my question. Like, probably had Sri Lanka or West Indies.
The man who actually helped Bangladesh qualify for that the Champions Trophy, he himself isn't there. He scored a 50 in that game, and we all know the contribution he made in that match against Sri Lanka.
You are referring to whom? Ashraful?
Shakib Al Hasan. Yes, I'm referring to Shakib Al Hasan and the contribution he made in that game through his smart presence of mind. Or you might say he was not playing by the spirit, but then it again helped Bangladesh. But I believe that they have the talent in their squad, but I feel they even can turn up 1 or 2 teams, but it's very difficult for them to win in presence of teams like India, England, who will be one of the favorites to lift the title.
They're not going to face England in that group. They're going to face India, Pakistan, and New Zealand.
Yes.
So what do you think of a batting lineup like Tanzid Hasan and Shanto at the top, or probably what will happen to that? Can they post scores of 250, 260?
See, Bangladesh's highest score in ODIs is 349. So 350. I'm not sure. I told
250, 260. Don't aim for the skies.
I told one of my friends that in Bangladesh that if Bangladesh scored 350, they might beat India. He said that if Bangladesh are going to score 350, I will finance the entire of your wedding. So this is what he said. Even fans,
a lot of stakes are riding on Bangladesh is 350 at the moment.
But which one will happen first? Whether Bangladesh scoring 350 or you getting married? As in, like, it's been like, you know what? One Sabya, when he joined our team way back in like 2-3 years ago, once he promised that only if Bangladesh win an ICC tournament, he'll think about marriage.
So now the plans have changed.
No, but Bangladesh have won a junior tournament.
Yes.
So Sabya has kept that as promise. He has said that, okay, this is going to happen.
That is the most disappointing thing about this Bangladesh team. When you see them play in the under-19 levels, they are better than most. They're better than India. They're better than Pakistan. But when they transition into the senior team, those same players playing...
Sabya, don't you think someone like a Mushfiqur or Mahmudullah can't do well on these pitches in Pakistan, which probably might not be as batting friendly as we are, looking at?
See, when it comes to ICC events and Mahmudullah, there's a separate love story. Mahmudullah has always done well. He has scored 3 World Cup hundreds. Plus, I was writing about that knock he played against New Zealand when Bangladesh was struggling at 33 for 4. And then he and Shakib Al Hasan came in and put on that partnership of 242 runs, which is the second highest in the history of the Champions Trophy. So when it comes to Mahmudullah, there is no doubt. But again, Mushfiqur, he has been going through a bit of a lean patch. And in that middle order, his role is very important. And Mahmudullah, by the way, is the oldest player in the team. He is 39. But he has scored 4 consecutive 50s. So he might be old. His beard might have grown a little grey, white. But as far as scoring is concerned, he is still amongst the most reliable player in that team.
And even if they score something like 260, Sabir, do they have the bowling attack to limit opposition teams?
See,
like India, Pakistan, and New Zealand, who are in their group.
they have the pace attack.
Hmm.
I am very excited to see Nahid Rana.
Of course.
Because as they say that if pace is not synced with proper line and length, you will go for runs.
Yeah.
But Nahid is someone who has troubled batters with his pace even in the BPL, Bangladesh Premier League, while playing for Rangpur Riders. So he can trouble the batters. Plus there is a leader of the pack, Taskin Ahmed. I was a little surprised to see when Shodiful was left out.
Yeah.
Mustafiz is there. So they have a decent attack. Even in the spin attack, in the absence of Shakib, they have someone like Rishad Hussain, who did extremely well in that T20 World Cup. They have Nasum Ahmed, who can bat well and also bowl well. Plus, they have the experience of Mehdi Hassan Miraz, who, unlike a lot of Bangladesh cricketers, is matured. He knows how to craft an innings. He will come to bat at 8, but he will bat like a specialist batter. Plus, he has that bowling. But overall, I feel that something is lacking. Some ruthlessness is lacking. They can get those boundaries, but to get that 350, 400s like most teams have been doing, like India have been doing, like England can do, that thing, I feel that they are lacking a bit.
Would Shakib have made a difference? Sorry to cut you there, sir, Alan.
I think like what right now when he was analyzing the team, when you look at those names, the bowling looks very good. But in batting, you need that X factor, right, for every single team. You know, Litton, I understand that he was not in form, but he was always that X factor batter. Because just because of his one innings against India in Australia, where he genuinely gave a scare. It was a very, very big scare for that Indian team at that point in time. So having that kind of a player, regardless of his form, I think most of the teams do keep players like that. You look at England, they keep a Liam Livingstone, even though he has not been so prolific with the bat. They know that maybe one innings he would play and that could change the whole complexion of the tournament.
See, it would have been unfair to leave out someone like a Shomo Sharkar who did well on that tour of the West Indies. Litton had scored just 6 runs in 5 innings in 2024. That led to his downfall.
Not every board is as lenient as England or Pakistan. So you need to understand that.
So maybe I think that is going to be a problem for Bangladesh. Because when you look at it, like, Muhammadullah has been a very, very prolific batter when it comes to ICC tournaments. But to reach to Muhammadullah, you'll have probably 4 or 5 batters before him. What about those 4 or 5 batters? Because I don't think Shanto has been in the best of form.
Shanto has been doing relatively well. He has been scoring at around some 45-50 average in the past 12 months. But again, as he said, the X factor is missing in this lineup. Someone who can come in and change the game. It's like score a 15 ball 40. So that kind of a knock. They might score at a striker of 120 at a Rana ball. They might go. But that X factor is missing. Someone who comes in, the required rate is around 12. Come in, smash, finish the match off. These kind of a player Bangladesh is lacking at this point in time.
So where do you see them finish? As in, like, how much would you rate their squad first?
Me, I will go with still being lenient, 4.5
out of 10.
Out of 10, and
out of 5. We was giving leniency is
I'm being little, but they are going to might end up losing all the matches.
Alan, you?
I think their bowling is good, but I think even if they restrict any team to a 270, I don't think they have the batting to chase that score down, and that could be a problem against good bowling attacks. And so I think my rating is going to be 4, and I think they are going to finish at the bottom of the group.
So no surprises from Bangladesh, that we all agree. And probably my rating would be also around 4 or 4.5 for Bangladesh. Moving on, should we look at India now? As in, like, we should have. Sabya, you said before the podcast, I asked him which team do you think is likely the strongest? Which team would you rate 10? Sabya started with India. Sabya, why do you think so? Because India don't have a Bumrah, which is probably a big blow. But looking at from a neutral point of view, probably we all should tell our viewers and listeners that Sabya doesn't, follow India as much as we do, as much as the rest of them. That's completely okay. He has his affinity towards other teams. But Sabya, from that standpoint, why do you think India will be dangerous, especially when playing in Dubai? Keep in mind that India are going to play in Dubai. So,
See, one might get carried away by thinking that India played in that T20 World Cup 2021 where
Yeah.
they faced similar oppositions and they lost.
Yeah.
But this is a one-day format. And they have players who are in form. They have players who recently did well in this ODI series against England. There were all sorts of concerns regarding Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Rohit dismissed them, scored 100. Even Virat Kohli returned to form. Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, most of their boxes are ticked. The only concern I feel that why did they leave out Yashasvi Jaiswal and picked Varun Chakravarti? Because I felt that some previously I have seen examples where players have been fast-tracked into the ODI and Test teams, but they couldn't quite survive. One example is Sunil Narine. He was taken into the West Indies ODI team, played Test cricket, but the moment batsmen used to sit on them and play those defensive shots, they became ineffective. Now that Varun is in this team, did they hurry a little bit? So apart from that, I think India have a very strong squad. Even though they do not have someone like a Bumrah, but they do have Harshit Rana, they do have Ravindra Jadeja, they do have Akshar Patel, and that is a favorable bowling attack compared to the other teams. They can definitely go to the semi-final and win a final. Maybe they can win the tournament.
Alan, you as in like, will Bumrah's absence be felt?
I do. I think we have all come to the common consensus that, the last time also, I think when Saurabh was here, he said that Bumrah is the MVP for India, right? Now, missing a Bumrah is a huge thing because what Bumrah has done for India is not just pick up wickets, big wickets, but he has also created pressure, which has opened the way for other bowlers to come in and pick up wickets as well.
Yeah.
You look at a Shami in the 23 World Cup. You look at Arshdeep in the 2024 T20
Arshdeep,
World
in fact, owes his entire T20
career to
Jasprit.
Jasprit Bumrah. So that is something that is going to be missing right now because what I feel, Harshit is a very good bowler who works well when the ball gets a little bit older, which we have seen in the England series as well. In the first 10 overs, he's been going for runs, but the second spell that he comes in, that is the best spell that he can bowl. And even in IPL also, I have seen the same from him. So that is one of my concerns because, we are now going to depend on Shami, but how fit is Mohammad Shami? Because the reports have stated that he was heavily strapped up, not at his great pace.
And we also saw that in the ODI
series as well, where he was a bowler who would hit 140 consistently, but that speed is lacking at the moment. But we all know that Shami can obviously turn everyone's opinion about him. We saw that in the World Cup. He came on and started just picking wickets for fun. So now Shami has to take up a very different role. He has to be the leader of this attack. That is something that I'm not very sure, not a lot confident about, because he has to give that confidence to a guy like Arshdeep. He has to give that confidence to a guy like Harshit Rana. Obviously, giving advice is one thing because he's the most senior bowler. But, actually implementing it in the game, that is going to be a problem. That is one of the things that I do see. I think also the fact that, we have taken too many spinners. I think Ashwin pointed it out that 2 spinners too many.
2 spinners.
Maybe because I think we could have ideally kept a Yashasvi Jaiswal just as cover. And we could have actually told Washington Sundar to, maybe sit out. Because we do have Akshar and Jadeja who play almost a similar role as a Washington Sundar.
And also, if you want to take the ball away from the left-hander, there is Kuldeep Yadav for that.
And India also have a spinner who has 2 IPL hat-tricks to his name.
That guy has stopped bowling. I think in the 2023 ODI World Cup he bowled.
He and Kohli, everybody chipped in.
Let's not get there. Why are our batters not bowling?
But like Sabya pointed out, I think even though the pace department does look a little bit shaky, I think the spin department, especially in that series against England, was rock solid. I think Jadeja has kind of, tweaked himself to be a attacking bowler. He has performed well. He had the number of Joe route throughout the series. He has done well. Kuldeep always steps up. Akshar, more than the spinner, I think the batter has helped out, giving a lot of stability. Another point, maybe the wicketkeeper slot. I don't know. I'm a little bit.
Coach Gambhir has made it clear that it's going to be KL Rahul, at least at the start of the tournament.
At least at the start of the tournament. But apart from that, you look at the top 4, that looks very settled. Always the pressure has been on Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to perform. But right now, I am in the middle of writing a piece about Shubman Gill,
The
where
vice captain.
the vice captain has stepped up massively. And that is something that people, I feel, don't give credit to Shubman Gill.
Yeah.
He kind of goes under the radar of
No, we
sorts.
mix formats. We mix formats too much.
Yeah.
Once the test series was
Because
over.
I remember a lot of people questioned why Shubman Gill is the vice captain of this white ball team. I said, hey, he was made the vice captain long before.
1,500 runs in 2023.
To-
World
so-
leading tally is
So
what I think.
since the stat that I have checked up right now was that since 2022, he has scored more than 2,500 runs, 700s, which is the joint highest in the format, and 15 50s. And in the England series, he added 250s and 100.
Yeah.
And he has been in sensational form. And he I think he was waiting for being given that role of vice captain. He feels that, okay, I belong in this team right now. I have made my mark here and they trust me with this role. If a Rohit Sharma is not there due to some injury or something, I can obviously step up and be the captain of this team. So he has kind of demanded that respect from his peers as well.
Yeah.
So I feel he is going to be the star for India this time around. ODI World Cup, he could not get off to that start because he had dengue
and all that. Yeah.
all those things. Then you have Shreyas Iyer. That is like the best top 4 that you can have. And if KL Rahul gets into form...
No, but who are you going to play at number 5? Is it KL Rahul or Akshar Patel?
See, for me, I would honestly say we should go with KL Rahul.
But 5 right-hand batters at the top then.
That is something... See, for me personally, I don't really care about these
Yeah,
combinations.
because you don't play.
Because we don't
If
play.
a Shaheen Shah Afridi swings it across a right-hander,
Maybe
then you will know.
that is where probably that flexibility comes in and Akshar could come in at number 5.
So
But
why
for
are
me-
we adamant about not playing Rishabh Pant there? Don't you think he's an X factor there? As in, like, I'm
Rishabh
just-
Pant has done exceptional in Test cricket, no doubt. But when it comes to,
white ball-
ODI cricket, he scored at 100 against England in 2022. I remember I joined just 2 to 3 months here, and he scored that 100.
Yeah.
I covered that match. So apart from that, and a few knocks here and there, the consistency Pant has showed in Test cricket hasn't quite been the case in
white
ODIs
ball.
and
But as in,
T20Is.
how many ODIs has he played between then and now?
That
Because
is-
he was out for a long time. He was not part of the 2023 ODI World Cup. And after that, how many ODIs India have played? 6 plus 3, 9 ODIs. Which is not a great sample size to judge someone. When you think you're lacking left-handers in the middle. It's not like KL Rahul has done so well in all ICC tournaments.
I think
The
Pant has
recent
played-
example
I think-
is there. November 19. That
Horrible day.
horrible innings. Like you can't sugarcoat it. It was a very bad
Very bad,
innings.
yeah.
Right.
So from there on, if you still keep on saying that, oh, I need KL Rahul there, he gives me solidity. Why not try Pant? As in, like it's not like Rohit Sharma is not in good form, Shubman Gill is not in good form, and you need some solidity. I still think that India should be open to at least thinking about playing Pant in 1 or 2 matches there. As in, you can start with KL Rahul, but yeah, you should think about playing Pant. And one more thing, Alan and Sabia, all of us would agree that India have probably a 10 out of 10 squad or a 9 out of 10 squad, probably cutting that 1 point for Jasprit Bumrah.
If Bumrah would have been there, it would have been 10.5 out of 10.
10.5 out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah, that's how it has
Yeah,
always
exactly.
been.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. But my big concern is the way that this team management is thinking. Like, we all know that during the Australia tour, India seldom picked a right team for the right pitches. As in, like, it was miscalculation always. Like Ashwin was let go after the first test. Washington, Jadeja, swapping them either udhar.
Yeah.
You couldn't get the combination right. When you needed a pacer, you didn't play him. When you needed a hit the tech pacer, you didn't play him in that pitch. My concern is this is still February and Dubai is not going to be as hot as it will be in the summer months. And if the pitches are not conducive to spin, like we have seen a little bit of pacers getting a little bit of zip in Dubai. So I think if you are over-reliant on spinners there, if they don't get the purchase, if Kuldeep is returning from a long injury layoff, if he doesn't get you wickets in that middle overs, Jadeja of course has done well in the bilateral series, but the very fact that we moved away from Jadeja after 2017 Champions Trophy was that he couldn't pick wickets in the middle overs. If that is the concern, Akshar is a defensive bowler. Jadeja is probably a defensive bowler. If that is the concern, if your new ball bowlers don't strike, then you might be in trouble. So I think the combination has to be properly set. Hardik is an extra bowling option, fast bowling option, but whether you will play 2 pacers with them or 3 pacers with them, depending on the conditions in Dubai, you have to check that, because Dubai is not gonna be spin friendly. Dubai has not been spin friendly over the years as well.
Plus, India also need to be careful about using Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana is not someone who can bowl effectively with the new ball. As pointed out by one of the experts, he's a hit the deck bowler, and that showed.
And Arshdeep is a largely untested commodity in ODI. Yes, when you talk about Varun Chakravarti, why he is so successful in T20Is is because batters tend to attack him, and then they lose their wickets. Similarly with Arshdeep, when you rush him, when you attack him, then he gets those wickets. He of course he can swing the new ball, he can swing it both ways. But it'll be interesting to see how a bowler like Arshdeep prepares for the long haul, prepares for the 10-over spell when batsmen are not looking to attack him each and every ball. They might be happy playing him for an over or 2. They might concede. They might just pick singles and take 4 runs in the first 2 overs. Then how Arshdeep responds is going to be very interesting. And like you pointed out, with Shami not at his 100%, I am just worried a little bit about this pace attack. If the pitches in Dubai gives you that zip that we have seen over the years, like a Shaheen and Naseem will be very effective if that zip is going to be there. Even Bangladesh, they have very good battery of pace attack. So if the Indian pace attack doesn't fire, that is my only concern. The batting looks solid, the spin bowling group looks solid. If Kuldeep comes to the party, then it's going to be trouble for the oppositions. But if the pace bowling unit doesn't fire, then it's going to be a problem. That's why probably I would rate this squad and their chances of winning the tournament. Semi-final probably looks like a given, although nothing is given in sport. I think India can win 2 or 3 matches. Two matches like Bangladesh, India can. They should. That's the right word. They should. Pakistan, I don't know. India will start as 70-30 favourites. But when you start as favourites, you know what Pakistan can do. And New Zealand have been a little bit of a trouble for us in ICC tournaments. If you keep away the 2023 ODI World Cup semi-final, and the group stage match, the rest of the matches have been a little edgy, and with all those Dubai memories coming back, it might be a little tricky. That's why I would probably give it an 8.5 or 9.
Yeah, I think that is fair. I think 8.5, because there are a lot of issues that is persistent with this team at this point in time. So if we get the combinations right, then well and good. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a trial and error with this team. So 8.5 is my rating as well.
Sabia, you?
India, I will still go with 9 because of their batting. I was just checking Virat Kohli stats today, and that guy averages some 90 in the Champions Trophy.
Champions Trophy.
Yes, and he has a score of 96 the last time he played against Bangladesh. So you never know what happens. Even he played in that ODI World Cup match, he scored in the 90s.
So quickly, can we also pick the MVP of each team? Like who do you think will be the MVP of? Let's come to Bangladesh also. Sabia, MVP for Bangladesh. Whatever they do, who will be their most valuable player? Quickly.
Mahmudullah Riyad. When it comes to ICC tournaments, there is no better than Mahmudullah Riyad. He has been consistent, and he's again going to step up.
Alan, for you, India?
Shubman Gill.
Yeah. I get reminded of the 2015 ODI World Cup when Virat was the vice captain, and how he stepped up in that World Cup. Something like that should happen with Shubman Gill if he has to, properly assert his status as one of the leaders in the leadership group. So that's something. But quickly, let's move to the hosts, Pakistan. Sabia, let's keep our assessment a little shorter and quicker because we don't want to, overshoot, and we are also running out of time. Right. So we have 6 more teams to cover. Pakistan, quickly, good or bad? Is it going to be their
average
tournament or not?
They have an average team. While we talked about India picking too many spinners, Pakistan didn't pick any spinners. Just Abrar Ahmed. And if you want to consider Salman Ali Agha a spin bowling option. Khushdil, he might have done well in the BPL. But then again, you don't know how would he perform.
I kind of, when it comes to Pakistan, what I have seen throughout that team is that they have been trusting people based on performances elsewhere. We have always pointed it out as India's problems. We always say that, India is picking players based on their IPL form for Test cricket. Now they have picked Babar Azam to open when clearly his spot is number 3. He has showed that. He has an average of 60 when he's batting at number 3. So, you have a batter and you're saying that, oh, he performs well as an opener in T20Is. Yeah, but that format is different. Here, you're expecting that. And throughout that tri-series, I could see he was trying to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
He was trying to get a start and then he loses his wicket. But that is the nature of the game. You can't really blame him for all those things.
King
But
kar lega.
Huh?
King
King kar lega, he said
He's
that don't
no
call
more.
him king.
Yeah.
So, I think that has, apart from Fakhar Zaman, I feel that team maybe Rizwan at number 4.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that I have question marks about. Yeah, Salman Ali Agha has stepped up. He is a very good all-round option to have.
Yeah.
Because they have lost a good all-rounder in Shadab Khan because of form and whatnot. But apart from that, when it comes to their players, that is the problem that I have. You need to have a spinner. Abrar, yes, he has done well, but you need a proper guy, a proper spinner in that mix.
They had Usam Amir, they had Sufyan Mukim. They could easily have picked them.
They could have picked either of those two because it is a surprise that they've brought in a lot of players, and even a legend like Wasim Akram questioned it rightfully, saying Fahim Ashraf. It was Fahim Ashraf.
Yes.
And I think one of those, I think it was Basit Ali who said that Mohammad Rizwan already looks a little irritated with this squad because he is not going to Fahim Ashraf. So all these things coming into consideration, and the fact that when I saw their pace attack minus Haris Rauf, how they performed in that tri-series was a little bit dicey.
Yeah.
Even a guy like Shaheen Shah Afridi, for all his things, was taken apart by Glenn Phillips in that last over, conceded 88 runs in his 10 overs.
Yeah.
So this team, like Sabya said, I think it's a very, very average team.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying that, in Pakistan they will perform well, but the evidence
that's
is...
where I'm coming to. I think India would have loved to play in conditions like Pakistan, and Pakistan would have loved to play in UAE conditions, is what I think.
Yeah.
Because in these pictures, from the evidence of the ODI tri-series that recently concluded, pace, at even that zip in the first few overs, paces are not getting. Will O'Rourke with his height and he got those balls to bounce and all that. But Haris Rauf might do that, but we don't know. He is coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
Shaheen and Naseem couldn't get anything out from those pitches. That's my concern. I said, like, they were economical, they were good, but their only way of troubling teams is picking those wickets with the new ball in the first 10 overs.
Shaheen Shah Afridi,
Yeah.
when he raises his arms after getting the wicket in the first over, that's when
That's
you know
when
Shaheen is on
Pakistan
song.
are up and running.
Yes.
But now with that threat a little bit eliminated, or I don't know, maybe they didn't bowl well against New Zealand and South Africa, but if they don't pick up wickets with the new balls, they don't have a bowling in the middle overs to trouble any team.
Yeah.
Say if India get off to some 60 for no loss in the first 10 overs, I am sure that they will score minimum of 320, 300 against Pakistan.
I think we saw that in the Asia Cup, right? That match which was restarted.
Yeah.
I think Shubman and Rohit just took them apart,
Yeah.
got a 100 partnership, and then KL and Virat
Kohli
came and finished them off.
Yeah.
So that is a problem with this team. Like, they trust too many on players to give them some moments where they can capitalize. But if those moments are not there and these players are not getting that rhythm, I think Naseem has not been the same bowler that we faced in 2022. Same with Shaheen Shah Afridi as well. So that is going to be a problem for Pakistan. And this spot thing about Babar opening.
Oh, he has been thrown into the deep end. It's unnecessary. Like, it's not like, Saeem Ayub is a huge loss.
Huge loss,
Imagine Saeem Ayub and Fakhar Zaman opening for Pakistan. That would have been a treat to watch.
Pakistan have someone like an Imamul Haq who is
Exactly.
technically very solid. Why not include him? Okay, it's okay to do Abdullah Shafiq after he'd scored 3 ducks, but why not include Imamul Haq?
Or why not open with someone like Saud Shakil, who has played in that spot, and then give Babar his comfortable spot. It's not like Babar was reeling off hundreds after hundreds before this tournament and he was asked to open because of his good form.
Yeah.
Someone who is not in good form, you should allow him to be in his position is what I think.
Before the tri-series started, his stats were 2 matches, 26 runs. And he scored 22. That was his highest.
Exactly. And I'm just wondering, what if Babar fails in this tournament?
Yeah.
The criticism and the pressure of a star batsman not performing at home is going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
So it'll be interesting to follow Pakistan, but quickly, your thoughts, your rating for the squad, and where do you see them finish?
6. And I feel they might get knocked out.
In the group stage?
Yes.
Without a semi-final berth?
Yeah.
Alan, we'll cut that clip and keep it
Yeah.
for
You can-
later. You
yeah.
can send it across to the Farid Khans and all of them, so that
I get
yeah.
trolled.
Sabya, you
Let me go with 6.5.
6.5. We were very benevolent to Bangladesh, giving them 4.5. That half mark of extra. I think Pakistan can be given 6.57. Because it looks a little either udhar, but you never know. If they can combine well as a unit.
If someone like Rizwan and Salman Agha can again put on 260,
No, I think
As a
Babar has
pair.
to score.
Babar
Babar
definitely
has to score.
has to
Yeah,
score.
yeah.
Yes.
Babar has to score, or a Fakar special in every match. It's like Fakar or nothing. for them,
Fakhar
the
will only
batting.
play against New Zealand. He
Yeah.
loves New Zealand.
Yeah.
But when it comes
Don't
to
forget India 2017
that
final.
is a one-off match when
Yeah.
nobody knew who Fakhar was.
Yeah.
Even India didn't knew.
Yeah, Bumrah is not there to overstep this time. So
Let's see.
So 6 from 6.5, 6 and probably 6.5 from B.
Yeah.
And New Zealand, Sabya, do you think they are going to be... They're no more the underdogs.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
The best part about New Zealand is that they don't have any kind of... like playing in the subcontinent comes with a lot of pressure and expectations. You have social media where people lash out even after one failure. But in New Zealand, it's very steady. It's very steady. They don't have superstars, but they have players who can come in and chip in with those small, useful knocks or spells, and that will help them.
Yeah.
And if you notice one thing, the best part about New Zealand is nobody considers them as some favorites to win the title. So in every tournament, they go as underdogs.
But I think that's slowly changing is what I think. As
For
in,
me,
like,
I feel they are
they
not
have-
given any tags.
Yeah.
They're not underdogs. They're not favorites.
Yeah.
They're just let without any pressure.
They enjoyed being underdogs, but I think there's a little bit of pressure this time when it's expectations.
But that was the thing. In the tri-series when it happened and when I was looking at the New Zealand team, I genuinely did not expect them to be such high scorers. I think they scored 300 odd against Pakistan. The next game they chased brilliantly against South Africa with Kane Williamson scoring 100
at
of
some pace.
Again,
at some pace.
it depends on how Williamson
And
plays in this
The
tournament.
brilliant part about New Zealand is they have somehow managed to kind of retain that Kane Williamson calmness with Mitchell Sanders' appointment. Yeah. Mitchell Sanders seems like a very, very calm person on the field. He's good with the bat. He's good on the field. His bowling was perfect for those Pakistan pitches.
Yeah.
So I feel they are a very good side. I would not be even surprised if they beat India and finish at the top of the group as well.
Look at their options at the top also. Rachin Ravindra, who was unfortunately injured, might come back. As in, like, he will probably come back in the first match itself. And they have Devon Conway, who's sitting on the bench, who probably played because of Rachin Ravindra's injury. Will Young is there at the top.
Will Young is there.
Tom Latham is the only guy who is probably not getting runs, but thanks to Pakistan, in that
He
game,
also
he
scored
also
a
scored a 50.
Scored runs.
And they have Daryl Mitchell in the middle order, Kane
yes.
Williamson. They look solid. And if Glenn Phillips for that,
Is
power
the
hitting
X
in the
factor.
end,
Is
in
the
the
X
end overs.
factor.
Right.
And that pace attack also looks good. Will O'Rourke.
Yeah.
And not many of us know about Nathan Smith, but he's a good skiddy bowler in those conditions who might, come to good use. But the only problem is whether they have attacking spinners.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can get overs of Glenn Phillips, you can get overs
Also
from
of
Santner.
Santner,
Santner can give you like 35, 110. That's assured. But can he run through a side? That is something. If they don't get wickets with a new ball, they might also end up conceding 300. But good thing is that they have the batting firepower, unlike Pakistan, to chase. If it's a high scoring pitch, you can bet on New Zealand to score 330, 330 and chase 320 or something. But with Pakistan, that's missing. So I think it's a solid 7.5 for them from my end. 8, probably 8.
Same. 8.
Same.
8.
7.58.
So before we go to the next group, so are we saying that India and New Zealand are the favourites to go to the semi-finals?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would probably pick...
do not underestimate Pakistan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
probably India and Pakistan for me. And New Zealand somehow miss out. If they lose to India and Pakistan, I probably want an India-Pakistan final and see what happens. But before we go to the Group B, we shouldn't be talking about this. But Group B, Sabya, Alan, is it the group of death or is this the group of death?
I think Group B
It is
the group of death. Yeah. Because
with two bogey teams like England and Australia playing there.
I won't be surprised if Australia gets knocked out before the semis.
No, but we all thought the same when they had a lean patch before the ODI
World Cup.
But the only problem is, I think they have lost too many players now, as in to injuries and availability concerns. Let's start with Australia quickly. I think the absence of Cummins, especially Stark, more than Cummins, I think Stark's X factor.
I think that missing out on the pace trio, then you have got Marcus Stoinis out.
Yeah.
If Mitchell Marsh was there, that opening with Travis Head would have been sorted. Because right now they are struggling to fit in Jake Fraser-McGurk, who has been abysmal in ODI.
But they have a Short who's a good, reliable opener.
Matthew Short is good, but again, it depends on what kind of combination that they are going for. Are they going to slot in Jake Fraser-McGurk at number 3? Or is it going to be Marnus Labuschagne?
Yeah.
Because I think Michael Clark said that Labuschagne does not make it into my team because he's very similar to Steve Smith.
Yeah.
So they have that kind of a problem. They do not have Marcus Stoinis being that X factor.
Yeah.
Glenn Maxwell has to do that job of being the support spinner alongside Adam Zampa, and the pace attack is highly inexperienced.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka exposed them in brief.
That was a. I think Steve Smith would have hoped for a better show. I think Steve Smith himself would have been, very surprised, because he's a proud captain at the end of the day. He doesn't like losing.
Yeah.
But with this lack of resources, when you have, if Nathan Ellis is a good bowler, Spencer Johnson and all of them are going to be part of your first choice pace bowling lineup, then it's, I think, very difficult.
Very
for Australia.
difficult. Yeah, because we always say that whenever it's a ICC tournament, Australia always start as the favorites. But this time it does feel like, ODI World Cup also we did not give them a lot of chance, but at the end of the day they won the title.
But that's what we were discussing. That's with people like Stark Cummins in there.
Yeah, but this time around it's like they have thrown a lot of people into the deep end, and they are depending on some individual brilliance from a Travis Head, a Glenn Maxwell. So Australia, I think probably they could get knocked out.
Your rating for Australia?
5.5.
5.5. Sabia, you?
5.
5. Okay, as in, like, if I have to rate the squad, then probably I would also rate around 6 only.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to rule Australia out. If we have all seen that in the past, but we've also done a piece on www.indiatoday.in saying that why this Champions Trophy might be Australia's worst ever ODI tournament.
Right.
So you can go to our website and read that piece for a little more information into that. And another team who are not in good form, England, credited for changing the way ODIs were played, but I think they are taking it a little too far ahead now and they're not able to find the balance. Sabia, Alan, what do you think, England? That 3-0 defeat to India in the ODI series, is that a smokescreen or is that the actual representation of their form?
All the 3 ODIs are pretty similar to each other. England started well. Their openers gave them the platform, and then they just threw it away. England any team can't afford to do that. When you have a platform, you should make sure that you get the opponent by the scruff of the necks and get them dead and bedded. Instead, England played those reckless shots, gave wickets to Indian bowlers, and then just threw away good starts. You just can't afford to do it. If you want to win an ICC tournament, if you want to make amends after that disastrous ODI World Cup, you have to play with your heads like how a Joe Root plays. Yeah. So you have to take it a little maturely. You just can't go out there and bang, bang, bang. Then 1 or 2 wickets will fall down. And I remember in the first ODI, Phil Salt took down Harshit Rana, 26 runs in one of the overs. But then 1 wicket went down, and then all of them followed suit. Exactly. So that is the problem with England.
Problem with England for a long period of time. I think Josh Butler has not shown his form. Harry Brook is there, but then again he failed in subcontinent conditions. Phil Salt and Ben Duckett has shown consistency, but it is too dependent on them. And the bowling attack also. When I was just looking through their bowling attack, since the 2023 World Cup, their highest wicket taker has been Adil Rashid with 13 wickets in that time, and at an average of 40. That bowling attack on paper looks so solid. You have Gus Atkinson, Jofra Archer, everybody is there. Mark Wood, everybody is there. But at the end of the day, they are not consistent. They are not able to work as a unit. And I think that is a problem with this England team. They are not working as a team. And that is where, when you look at it in a stark contrast, you have a Afghanistan side that works perfectly. Everybody complements each other very well. So that is a problem with England, and that is why I think I would go on to say even in that group, I feel England could finish last.
Yeah, that's more of a battle between Australia and England to
England
finish
at
last,
the-
is it? Is that what we are looking at?
Yeah.
Or we are getting it completely wrong? But from the looks of it, from recent form, I think it might be a battle between Australia and England to finish
absolutely.
at the bottom of Group B.
If I have to go with my rating for England also, I would give them 4.5. They're a very bad team. They are
But don't you think the personnel are good? Probably the way they play is not probably suited to the subcontinent conditions.
Individually, they are a very good team,
Yeah.
but then again, when it comes to a team, they are just not gelling together. Liam Livingstone is such an effective player, but then again, he goes out and smashes everything.
So
But that
your
might-
rating for that team, Sabir?
For now, it will be 4.5.
I'm genuinely surprised that you guys are rating that team 4.5. I would rate it a solid 6.57 for the talent there, but probably I don't know how they
see
will
how
gel.
much
Yeah.
how much can talent take
Yeah.
a group forward
Yeah.
if it is not working as a team.
Of course.
That Owen Morgan team worked brilliantly because Owen Morgan was the captain. He ensured that team was together and it worked.
Yeah.
But Josh Butler does not seem to have that control, and all like that.
I get your point.
that team
But I
does not
just
work.
hope Bass brings up a surprise. You know, in his first major assignment as the coach. Let's hope. Let's see. But moving on to Afghanistan. Are they going to be the dark horses, Sabir?
They are more than dark horses. They are more than dark horses. Given how they have played in the last 2 years, that team, if they defeat one of the big teams, it won't be called an upset.
It shouldn't be called an upset.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. Because-
I went to watch that game between Afghanistan and England, and it was an absolute spectacle. But you wouldn't expect Afghanistan to turn up like that. The way they dominated a team like England,
Yeah.
it was absolutely stupendous, brilliant.
Even the bench looks solid this time, right? We are talking about someone like Sadiqullah Atal, who has done so well in SA20.
SA20.
performed
Yes.
really well, but he probably might not get a spot in the 11.
Yeah.
And someone like Noor Ahmed, who is one of the most sought out spinners, not probably in ODI so much, but in at least in he has the potential to do well. He might not get a spot. So look at that bench strength now.
And
Probably teams like Pakistan will be envious of that bench strength.
also, yeah.
Like if we can get a Noor Ahmed as a backup spinner, Pakistan would love
What
to have him.
about the ODI cricketer of the year, Azmatullah Umarzai?
Bilkul, yes.
The way
And he might probably be that cushion that many
Yeah.
teams
Yes.
lack. As like Hardik, India are fortunate enough to have Hardik Pandya as their fast bowling all-rounder.
Yeah.
In conditions like in subcontinent conditions where you're dicey about playing that extra fast bowler, someone like an Umarzai, someone like an Hardik Pandya is a huge asset.
Yeah. And,
So yeah.
and their opening batter,
Yeah.
Gurbaz.
Yeah.
Like, I am so happy that he is part of KKR.
800s and 46 ODIs, that is simply
course.
insane.
He even scored 100 against New Zealand in the
New
warm-up
Zealand
match.
is
Yes,
the warm-up
yes.
match.
The warm-up match.
He's a very confident batter. He probably kind of reminds me of a young Brendan McCullum in ways because he's attacking, but his shots are so brilliant. He's a very agile, very good wicket keeper, and a very nice guy. So I genuinely have a love towards Gurbaz,
Yeah.
apart from the fact that he plays for my favorite team, KKR.
Yeah.
But that team is so solid.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot write off Afghanistan from like beating the likes of England, Australia,
Yeah.
and even giving a test to South Africa. Because Omarzai, I remember in the ODI World Cup, he scored 96 against South Africa. So they have experience of playing these guys.
Yeah.
They have experience of getting big scores against these guys. So yeah, maybe.
I am pleasantly surprised that none of us have mentioned Rashid Khan.
Yeah,
You
because
know, he was the address for Afghanistan a few years ago, but now they have so many stars
More-
that we can afford to overlook him and then talk about someone else.
Even more than Rashid Khan, I feel one man who has seen every ups and downs
yeah.
of Afghanistan cricket.
Yeah.
39-year-old
Nabi playing,
youngster Mohammad
playing
Nabi.
an ICC tournament in Pakistan, that probably might be emotional for him as well, right?
He played in that match
Yeah.
against India in 2009
Yeah.
in West Indies when Afghanistan were making their debut. He has seen everything. He has played with Noor Ali Zadran,
Yeah.
and now he's playing with his nephew Ibrahim. So he has seen it all.
Yeah.
so that is what, like, that is the effect that we have had. We have
We all agree that their bowling is,
Yeah,
their batting
sorted.
is sorted, but bowling, is it good enough?
Rashid Khan, Faisal Haq Farooqi. What more do you need?
I think Fazal Haq Farooqi needs some support in the bowling department. They have someone
Umar
like
Zai can give that.
yes, so much I can give that. They have a Farid Malik. If needed, if
Yeah.
Afghanistan think that maybe they should focus a bit on their
Three,
pace attack
yeah.
than spin. Farid Malik is there. Naveed Zadran is there.
Yeah. Will Noor play with Rashid or
I feel that in that series against Bangladesh and South Africa in Sharjah, they mostly preferred left-arm spinner Nangyalia Kharote. So Kharote also picked up a 4-wicket haul, and he's someone who can come lower down the order and score some useful runs. So I feel that they might
So
go.
they have the flexibility to play three
Yes,
spinners and
yes,
three pacers,
yes.
or three pacers. So
Yes.
that's a good thing to have. That's in like it's a luxury that teams like India has now. When we are talking about that combination, whether they pick it right or not, that's another thing. But you have the resources.
Yes,
So-
and the middle order is also very solid with Hashmatullah Shahidi, Rahmat Shah, and the experience of Gulbuddin Naib.
Naib's biceps
Yeah.
probably will be out a lot.
Yeah.
Very often in this tournament. Quickly before we move to South Africa, the last team, how do you rate Afghanistan?
I might get a little emotional here. I will rate them 8.5.
8.5. That's the most you have given to a team. No, you rated India 9, right? Yeah,
7.5.
7.5.
I won't get too ahead of myself. They have to, at the end of the day, the talent has to be proven on the field. So
Yeah.
7.5. Good, exciting team.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. I would be very happy if they reach the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As in, we shouldn't be surprised if they reach the semi-final.
Absolutely.
And like Sabya mentioned, we shouldn't call it an upset. Sabya, keep that in mind when you're writing stories.
Right, absolutely.
If Afghanistan beat Australia, it's like Afghanistan beats Australia.
They
And
have
not
beaten Australia in the T20
course.
World Cup. Knocked them out, in fact.
knock them out. For me also, the rating is going to be around 7.58. So we all agree that they're going to be probably one of the semi-finalists, right? What about South Africa, the last team that we're going to discuss? You know, they reached the semi-final of the ODI World Cup, probably couldn't do well. And then they did well in the T20 World Cup, lost by a margin, the finest of margins. You know what happened with that Surya Kumar Yadav catch. And they've been doing well in ODIs. Do they have the team to push it to the semi-final or probably go all the way this time?
South Africa has been a team earlier. They used to lose in semi-finals. Now they are starting to get into that final zone.
Yeah.
In men's and women's cricket both. They are starting to get into the final. So how many of us expected South Africa to play in the WTC final after the start they had got? So South Africa is one team. Again, they don't have a lot of superstars. Kagiso Rabada is there. Temba Bavuma is there. But that team
Heinrich
is...
Klaasen.
Yes. But that team is more than capable of going to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if both England and Australia get knocked out and South Africa and Afghanistan go through that group.
Of course. And I think they have a very good spin attack, which we don't talk about enough. You know, when talking about South Africa, you always talk about the Rabadas, Marco Janssens, Henrik Noyas. But if you look at their spin attack, they have a very good Keshav Maharaj, one of the few finger spinners who's attacking, who can run through sides.
And Tabriz Shamsi.
And Tabriz Shamsi.
And Markram to support.
Yes, they have. I think if Temba Bavuma clicks at the top, if he doesn't waste a spot in ODI cricket, he has been brilliant in tests. But if he can carry that form to ODIs and get some runs at the top, they have a solid unit. Like Sabya said, yes, we are all ruling out England and Australia because of their recent form. But if you look at what has happened over the last few months, and if you look at the teams on the paper, we would agree probably that South Africa and Afghanistan are the two teams that are going to qualify from Group B. So what's your rating for that team, South Africa, as in like more than Afghanistan or less than Afghanistan?
I think South Africa, I would give them 7.5 itself. I think...
So you're going for a tie there.
Yeah, because I think their original team was not there. I would be probably surprised that, they might be thinking, is there some way they can get Matthew Bretzke into the lineup? Because he performed so well in that tri-series.
Yeah.
So, apart from that, they've got some good batters. Tristan Stubbs, who has reinvented himself.
Right.
Rassie van der Dussen has always been a consistent player in ODIs. Markram, you can never write off Markram. And Henrik Klaasen, same thing. So they have that thing. And Vian Mulder and Corbin Bosch, they are also slowly coming into the... Vian Mulder was very good in the SA20 for a Super Giants team that did not click well, did not perform well. He is an X-Factor guy. So, they do have the thing. But now I think the mental block that they have from going from, being pretenders to contenders.
That they have crossed that bridge, I think, already.
They are, I would not still say that they have crossed the bridge. They are reaching towards the end of the bridge, but sometimes they kind of find it in a bit of a wobbly bridge, you could say, and they fall off from it. But hopefully, let's see what happens, because they have to still cross that final hurdle, which they have not been able to do.
So your rating for South Africa?
I will go with 7.
7. Similarly, for me, around 7.5. I think
Yeah.
they have a very good all-round squad. Just like they have done well in the subcontinent in the past. Also, it's not like they haven't done well in the subcontinent. It's a far cry from the teams in the past where they used to struggle against spin with so much of IPL and PSL, all that. They are good against spin these days, and they have good spinners. So, as in like quickly before we wind this Sledging Room episode, what are your top 4 picks? As in like it's probably quite evident from how we rated the teams, but quickly before we go, let's summarize it. The top 4 picks for the
India,
Champions Trophy.
New Zealand, South Africa, Afghanistan.
For you, Sabya.
I was about to say the same.
Say the same.
I was about to say the same.
And let me, as in like I told you before, India, Pakistan, and England and Afghanistan for me.
Okay.
I want Baz to do something because it's not out of mind, but it's coming from heart. I want England to do well after the horrible run that they had in the ODI World Cup in India. So we should ask our viewers and listeners also about their thoughts about what they think, which team is the strongest, and who are their top 4 picks for the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy, which starts on Wednesday in Karachi and it moves to Dubai the next day, where India take on Bangladesh. You can send in your thoughts on 8588966996. If you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, please do rate us. And like we always say, if you're watching us on YouTube, please leave your comments. We'll be more than happy to learn your feedback. Thank you. Have a great week and enjoy the Champions
And
Trophy.
also don't forget to follow the WPL, which is currently taking place.
Yeah.
Women's cricket need that bit of support.
During
so,
the yeah.
So Delhi Capitals and RCB are playing today. Please follow the match
And
while you're
check
watching
out
the
from
Champions Trophy.
for some lovely features from Sabyasachi, who has been writing consistently for the WPL, and we also have a special page for which the links will be given below. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you so much.